Happy holidays. Happy holidays from the Terrific Talk family to yours, of course. Happy Thanksgiving. Winter is coming here on the East Coast. It is freaking freezing here in the Hoboken studios in New Jersey. We got Thanksgiving. We got the cold weather. It's getting dark here around 5 o'clock, a little earlier even here. People are gearing up for Christmas. It's that time of year. And it's one of my favorite times of the year on this podcast because Thanksgiving, to me, Week 12 in the NFL, you know what teams are good and what teams aren't. This is the time where you can really start making some good bets, making some good picks. So I'm going to give you my Thanksgiving picks in a minute. First, I wanted to hit on a little NBA because the NBA right now is just insane. There's a new crazy headline coming out every single day. It's like Trump. It's like Trump is in the NBA now. It's amazing. First one I want to hit is Markelle Fultz. The drama with the Sixers has a new chapter now. Ever since the Jimmy Butler trade knocked him out of the starting lineup, he's been coming off the bench. In Phoenix, he lost his backup point guard spot, it seemed like, to TJ McConnell. Brett Brown, after the game, said, I don't really know who's going to be the backup. We'll see. And then it comes out now that Markelle Fultz's agent, Raymond Brothers, is basically telling the Sixers Markelle is not going to play in any practices or games until he sees a shoulder specialist early next week. So Markelle will not participate in team practices or games until he sees the specialist to evaluate his shoulder. Crazy part is the Sixers head coach Brett Brown and the general manager Elton Brand said they had no idea there were issues with Fultz. Prior to Brand receiving the call from the agent, he said there's nothing that they saw medically that said he couldn't play. So the Sixers and Markelle Fultz are clearly not on the same page. Agent here is stepping in. Maybe they'll get doctors outside of the Sixers. It kind of sounds like that's what's going down. But just another crazy part of this insane Markelle Fultz saga. He's 20 years old. He was the number one pick in the NBA draft last year. This is insane what is going on with his career. Now leaving the team once again until he sees the shoulder specialist. I normally believe that teams give up on their draft picks way too early. They have one bad season and they kind of cut bait, and then those players go to other teams. They end up having pretty good NBA careers. I mean, I've seen that firsthand with the New York Knicks like 100 million times. Jamal Crawford, Trevor Ariza. I mean, the list goes on. And this guy is the number one pick. Like, he obviously has talent. We've seen it. We've seen flashes. But I think the Sixers, and I know his trade value is low right now, but I don't think it's as low as it could be because he still has that, he's the number one guy just a year ago. I think the Sixers should make a move. Absolutely. They should trade him now. It just doesn't seem like this is working out between him and that organization. Things are uncomfortable. I would trade him. And another thing is, they already have now, you have your core three. You have Jimmy Butler, Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid, who's a beast lately, by the way. Embiid has been amazing. But those guys all need the ball in their hands. They don't need another playmaker on this team. They need a 3-and-D guy, a guy who can hit the three and defend. That's what they need. And I feel like there's a 3-and-D guy out there that they could make a trade for Fultz. I think they should try to do it. But we will see what comes of this. No Steve this week on the podcast. I think he's in mourning. He's in shock right now, so he wasn't prepared to talk about Markelle Fultz. But we will talk to him next week. Another story we got to talk about here is the Washington Wizards. Just a complete dumpster fire in Washington right now. I went to school, American University, down in D.C., so I went to a lot of Wizards games, and I started going to games right when the Gilbert Arenas era ended. He had all those injuries, guns in the locker room, kind of cut that part of the franchise out, and in came John Wall. John Wall was supposed to be the savior, number one pick out of Kentucky. Everybody loved John Wall at the time. He was a stud. He came in. He was teaching people how to Dougie. People loved John Wall right away. And now it seems like John Wall, his time is up in Washington. But he has a super max contract kicking in next year. For the next 5 years, he's going to be making $40 million a year for a lot of that contract. He's just going to absolutely kill their salary cap. And it's amazing to say, but we got to face it. John Wall is not the franchise guy. He's just not the number one guy. He should not be getting that kind of money. He's had, I think, 3 knee surgeries in the last couple of years. Injuries, I think, have taken its toll on him because his game is all built on speed and power. A little like Derrick Rose, remember that? And John Wall's still really good, but you're just not seeing the same out of him. People are accusing him of being out of shape, not trying as hard. I don't know if that's really the case. I think it's more the injuries wearing him down a little bit. But he was expected to be the franchise guy, the leader. There's reports. I know Michael Lee of The Athletic was saying that John Wall's gotten a little bit entitled, and he's gotten away with a lot of crap on that team. You heard Bradley Beal coming out and saying about as much, kind of going after management this week. John Wall got in a heated confrontation with the coach, Scott Brooks, cursing him out. The team actually fined him this week because it got public because, of course, there's people leaking stuff to the media inside that locker room because they all hate each other. Wizards, complete disaster. I think what they should be trying to do, not sure if it's possible, get rid of John Wall, find someone, maybe New Orleans, team up John Wall and Anthony Davis, the Kentucky guys, maybe try to make a trade. Just get him off the books, get him out. I think it's time to move on from Wall. And I think you build around Bradley Beal, who's 3 years younger than John Wall, who is really, really good at a position where there's not a lot of really, really good shooting guards. I would hold on to him. He's the 3-and-D guy, but he can be a special player in the right system. Hold on to him and build around him a little bit like the Pacers did with Victor Oladipo. I think that would be a smart strategy for the Wizards. It's amazing that, after the Arenas debacle, you thought you had a franchise guy in Wall, and now it seems like there's a Wall debacle now. I think the Wizards need to start over. We saw it with Minnesota and how chaotic that locker room was with Jimmy Butler. Something had to happen. Same exact situation here in Washington. I know they've wanted to make it work with Otto Porter, John Wall, and Bradley Beal, but it hasn't worked. They haven't had a ton of success. It's getting worse. They hate each other. Move on. One guy that's moving on from the Cleveland Cavaliers just came out. Our boy, we love him on this podcast, J.R. Smith. Now, J.R. has been basically demanding a trade all season long. The Cavs, without Kevin Love, are another dumpster fire. They can't buy a win. They're the worst team in the NBA, I'd say. Them and Phoenix, basically neck and neck. But the future is not too bright right now in Cleveland since LeBron left. And JR wanted out. And he basically told the Cavs that he's done. He's not showing up to games anymore. Trade me. Get it done. I'm done. I love JR. He's my boy. I understand. He's frustrated. He's played in the NBA Finals the last, 4 years. He wants, at the end of his career, to keep playing on contending teams. But, JR, they're paying you $50 million a season. You're not that good anymore. Let's be real. Are you really saving that team from tanking? I think you're helping. I don't like the move by JR to just leave. And it's a trend that's happening really across all sports where these guys are under contract and they're just not showing up. Now, I think this is way different than Le'Veon Bell on the Steelers. He sat out the whole season. He's trying to get the next big contract. He's trying to stay healthy, not get hurt like we saw with Earl Thomas in Seattle. That is defensible. To me, JR already has the contract. He's already under contract. He's got $15 million. This isn't a financial family decision. This is more of a I'm miserable playing for this crap team decision. But you're under contract. You're getting paid. I think you should have waited it out, JR. But we still love you. Last up, the Milwaukee Bucks have been killing it. And Giannis Antetokounmpo is obviously the leader. Mike Budenholzer, the new coach, has kind of opened the offense up. It's incredible. It's incredible how people rate NBA coaches. Just a couple years ago, Budenholzer was coaching the Atlanta Hawks. The Hawks didn't have talented players anymore. They started losing. He gets fired, and everyone's like, oh, Mike Budenholzer, what a crap coach. He sucks. Now he goes to Milwaukee. They've played like 20 games. The team is dominating now. And now everyone's calling him a genius. There are so many NBA coaches out there that we just don't know if they're good or bad. It really is a players' league. There are only a handful of coaches that I think really make a difference. And it's just amazing how we just change our opinions on these coaches every single year. It's crazy. But the stat I wanted to point out, the Greek Freak, he's dominating. He's putting up stats we've never seen before. Interesting stat from him, though. He's shooting like 10% from three this season. Come on, you're better than that. 10%? That's bad. Quick break to talk to you guys about The Athletic. The Athletic, for those of you who don't know, is a subscription-based publisher of smarter sports coverage for diehard fans. The model is simple: no ads, no pop-ups, and no autoplay videos. Readers subscribe for authentic, in-depth coverage written by journalists who know their teams inside and out. I just read a great piece by Frank Isola, longtime New York sports writer here in the area. He wrote a piece about how the Atlantic Division keeps acquiring stars while New York's NBA franchises are losing the arms race, right? You've got the Celtics getting Kyrie Irving. You've got the Toronto Raptors getting Kawhi Leonard. The Philadelphia Sixers now getting Jimmy Butler. What the hell are the Knicks and Nets doing? Just a lot of waiting around. It's a great piece by Frank. You can read great pieces by a ton of great national writers like Ken Rosenthal, Jason Stark, Sam Amick, Zach Harper, Lindsey Jones, Jake Glazer, Mike Lombardi for football. Subscribers have access to local and national content with more than 650 to 700 news stories published every week across all sports. The Athletic's really where the future of journalism's going. I've got a great special offer for you today. If you go to theathletic.com/terrifictalk, this code is 40% off, just $2.99 a month. Great deal for a lot of great content. Again, the promo code is theathletic.com/terrifictalk. You get 40% off, just $2.99 a month. Go check it out. Robinhood is an investing app that lets you buy and sell stocks, ETFs, options, and cryptos, all commission-free. Robinhood strives to make financial services work for everyone, and it's simple and intuitive with a clear design, with data presented in an easy-to-digest way. The markets have been all over the news, so I wanted to get involved. I used this app. It was really, really easy to use. They give you great, easy-to-understand charts and market data. You can place a trade in just 4 taps on your smartphone. It's that easy. Other brokerages charge up to $10 for every trade, but Robinhood doesn't charge commission fees. You trade stocks and you keep all of your profit. And Robinhood is giving listeners a free stock like Apple, Ford, or Sprint to help build your portfolio. You just sign up at terrific.robinhood.com. That's terrific.robinhood.com. All right, go check Robinhood out. All right, like I mentioned, I wanted to make some Thanksgiving picks in the NFL. Let's get to them right now. First up, Thursday game, Thanksgiving. It's got to be in Detroit. We love this game. I wonder if Big Sean's going to be performing at halftime. Love Big Sean. Shout out, boy. Scoot. The Bears are going to the Detroit Lions. The Bears, who are the first place Bears in the NFC North, who have just been killing it all season long. We called it early on in the podcast, Steve and I. I talked to that Bears fan at that wedding, and he did not leave me wrong. He said this defense is really good. Then they added Mack, and Trubisky is playing well. And this is a really good test for him. At Detroit, always a hard place to play on Thanksgiving. I like the Bears here. I think they're going to keep it rolling. They've got all the momentum in the world. I think Detroit is a little bit lost right now. And I want to also point out, so I'll take the Bears there with 4 points. Next up, the Washington Redskins going to the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas now in the driver's seat to win the NFC East, which is just absurd because this Dallas team is not good. Dak Prescott is not good. He's not had a good season. They brought in Amari Cooper. It's helped a bit, but really they're just getting lucky that this division is just crap. And, of course, Alex Smith had the devastating injury on Sunday. He's out for the year. And in comes Colt McCoy, Mr. Texas, by the way. So this is a fun one. Colt McCoy coming in. Mark Sanchez will be his backup. Unbelievable. Mark Sanchez is still getting jobs, but good for him. Washington here on the road is getting 7.5 points. Cowboys are favored by that much. Jerry Jones is going nuts. I'm going to go with the Washington Redskins here. Why not? I think the line is a little high. I think for one game, short couple days, Washington can hang around here. I'm going to take the Redskins. I just don't see Dallas blowing anybody out. Last up, the Atlanta Falcons at the New Orleans Saints. Saints favored by 13 at home. The Thanksgiving night game. I think the NFL, by the way, has done a really good job for the most part figuring out scheduling the primetime games and the flexing. Chiefs-Rams on Monday night was incredible. Maybe the greatest regular season game of all time. 54-51 Rams, just a million touchdowns. And this one should be just as high scoring. This should be another gunslinger fun game. Matt Ryan and Drew Brees. I think this is actually going to be a fun game to watch. Saints here are favored by 13, and I think they should be. Because I think the Saints are by far the best team in the NFL right now, especially when they're at home. This team is playing lights out. You hear Drew Brees in the MVP conversation. Stat I want to point out here, which is just incredible and gives you a good idea why Drew Brees is playing so well. He has only been sacked 9 times this season. That offensive line has been incredible. Okay, he's been sacked 9 times. You know how many times Aaron Rodgers has been sacked this season? 30. Okay, you talk about all the problems with the Giants and it's all Eli Manning's fault. Guess how many times he's been sacked? 36. Okay, Drew Brees has only been sacked 9 times. Everyone this week talking about the comeback of Andrew Luck, how incredible he's been playing. Guess how many times Andrew Luck's been sacked this season? That's been a problem his whole career. The offensive line never held up. This season, he's been sacked just 10 times. Okay, that's the difference. That's why Drew Brees and Andrew Luck are playing so well. They're getting to do Drew Brees and Andrew Luck things. They're getting time to get the ball out down the field. And I think that's going to happen again Thursday night with the Saints. Drew Brees is going to throw all over the Atlanta Falcons. Falcons are coming in here stumbling. They're not going to make the playoffs. But, fun fact, Matt Ryan is also having a really, really good season. Matt Ryan has thrown for almost 400 more yards this season than Drew Brees, the MVP guy. Matt Ryan has only thrown 3 less touchdowns than Drew Brees. Matt Ryan is having a really, really strong season. So I say 13 points, although the Saints are, I love the Saints. Number 1, 13 points, a little too high. I am taking Atlanta. Matt Ryan can at least keep that one fairly close, at least get you a backdoor touchdown to knock out that 13. So I like Atlanta, I like Chicago, and I like the Redskins Thursday night. Those are my Thanksgiving picks. I hope everyone has a great Thanksgiving. Thank you here for checking out the Terrific Talk podcast. As always, please subscribe, leave a comment to Terrific Talk on iTunes. We're on Spotify. We're on Stitcher. We're everywhere on the CLNS Media Network. Want to shout out the CLNS Media Network. Thank you guys for all your support. Thank you to the listeners out there. And thank you to Markelle, Fultz's agent. We didn't even mention the Warriors drama. We didn't even have to. NBA is crazy right now. I love it. I'll see you guys early next week. Peace out. A-Town down. Kobe.